Welcome to the Margaret McLean Show. I'm your courtroom translator, and we're going behind the scenes in this sensational attempted murder trial in Hawaii. Here, I'm going to focus on the testimony that, as a former prosecutor, I think was the critical turning point in this trial. Briefly, here's the background. Gerhardt Konig, an anesthesiologist, is standing trial for second-degree attempted murder after he allegedly tried to kill his wife, Emile Konig, while they were on a hiking trail in Hawaii. Prosecutors say his motive was basically anger, jealousy, because she had an affair with a work colleague and refused to end it. So Ariel, the victim, testified that they were hiking when Gerhardt asked her to take a selfie along the edge of the trail, next to a very dangerous cliff. As Ariel began to walk away, Gerhardt pushed her into the bushes, picked up a rock, and used it to strike her head approximately 10 times, while also grabbing the back of her head and smashing her face into the ground. Ariel then saw her husband take 2 syringes out of his bag and attempt to use them on her, which, points to premeditation. 2 women also heard Ariel's calls for help and then witnessed Gerhardt on top of her. Ariel was on her back, and he was hitting her in the head with this fairly large-sized rock. In my opinion, Ariel was a good witness for the prosecution, but by far the strongest was the defendant's own son, Emile Gerhardt. Now, Ariel is his stepmother, not even related by blood. So when I prosecuted cases, I would put my strongest witness last. I would have ended with Emile instead of the boring digital forensic expert that the prosecution ended with. Why is that? Because Emile's testimony ups the level of this case. It takes it from assault with a dangerous weapon, the rock, to attempted murder. Without his testimony, I don't think the prosecution would have been able to prove attempted murder beyond a reasonable doubt. Let's go through the testimony together, and I'll highlight the strengths and assess this witness's credibility.
All right, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Okay, the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is to scoot forward as much as you can and to speak as much in the microphone as you can, okay?
Okay.
All right, can you start off by stating your name, please?
Emile Konig.
Is it okay if I call you Emile for the rest of my questions today?
It is.
Okay. Emile, what do you do for work?
I work for Maui Health
Maui Health.
as a clerk.
As a clerk, you said? And how long have you been doing that?
About 2 months now.
And where do you live?
On Kahului, Maui.
Is that at 19 Pu'uehu Place?
Correct.
Who do you live with?
With my stepmother and my 2 brothers.
Your stepmother, who is that?
Ariel Konig.
Are you related to any person involved in this case, Emile?
I am.
Okay. Who are you related to?
The defendant.
Is that Gerhardt Konig?
Correct.
And who is Gerhardt Konig to you?
My father.
If you were to see him again, would you be able to recognize him?
I could.
We'll stipulate to identification.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll just move on then. All right, Emile, just over a year ago, on the morning of March 24th, 2025, where were you?
I was at home.
Normally, who lives in that house with you? Or on that date, who normally lived in that house with you?
My dad, my stepmom, 2 little brothers.
On the morning of March 24th, 2025, was your dad and your stepmom home?
No.
Okay. Do you know where they were that day?
Oahu, here.
They were on Oahu?
Mhm.
Do you know why the defendant and Ariel were visiting Oahu?
For Ariel's birthday,
Do you know when Ariel's birthday is?
the March 24th.
So, was anybody else staying at the house in Kahului with you on that morning?
Yes. Babysitter. For the little kids.
Got it. On the morning of March 24th, 2025, did you receive any calls from either Ariel or the defendant?
I did.
Okay. And which was it?
From the defendant.
Who contacted who?
Defendant contacted me.
What type of call was it?
A FaceTime call.
When you say FaceTime call, is that on the Apple iPhone?
Correct.
Was this call a FaceTime voice call or a FaceTime video call?
FaceTime video call.
How many times or how many calls were there from the defendant to you on March 24th, 2025?
2.
And what times were the 2 calls at?
I couldn't recall exactly.
Did you provide a statement to a Maui detective
I did.
regarding this incident? Okay, regarding those calls?
Yes.
And in that statement, did you tell the detective what time those calls were?
Yes, I did.
Would seeing that statement help you refresh your recollection as to when those 2 calls were?
It would.
Okay. I'll pull a page number here. Okay, I'm gonna approach with what's been marked as State's Exhibit 170. Lines, sorry, page number 3 and page number 4. Okay, may I approach? Okay. Emile, could you quickly read pages 3 and 4 of this document? And when you're done reading, just look up, okay? Okay. Is your recollection refreshed as to when those 2 calls were?
It is.
Okay, I'm going to retrieve the exhibit, and I'm going to ask you the same question again, okay? All right, I'm going to retrieve exhibit 170 from you. Okay, and Emile, what time were those 2 video FaceTime calls on March 24th, 2025?
The first one was at 10:42 a.m. and the second one was at 11:46 a.m.
Okay. I'm going to ask you about the call from 10:42 a.m. first, okay? All right. Where were you when you got the FaceTime video call at 10:42 a.m.?
At home.
That's the same address we talked about earlier.
Correct.
What did you see on the other side of the screen when you picked up that call?
I saw the defendant.
Can you describe the defendant as you saw him on that call?
Wearing sunglasses, dry fit shirt. That's all I saw.
Did you see the area that the defendant was in?
Outside.
And did the defendant tell you anything during that call?
Yes.
What did the defendant tell you during that call, as close to word for word as you can remember?
That he would not be making it back to Maui and to take good care of the younger kids, and that Ari, my stepmom, had been cheating on him and that he tried to kill her.
Okay. That's a lot, but I'm going to break that down a little bit. You said the defendant told you he tried to kill Ariel, is that right?
Correct.
Did he tell you what happened to Ariel?
He did not.
Okay. Did he tell you where she went?
No.
Did the defendant tell you why he tried to kill Ariel?
No.
During this 10:42 a.m. call, did the defendant tell you anything about what he planned to do next?
During that call, the next plan that he said was to jump off the cliff.
And how did you react to hearing that?
I told him not to.
How did you react to the defendant telling you he tried to kill Ariel?
I don't remember what I said.
Do you recall what the defendant told you after he said he tried to kill Ariel?
Not directly after.
Okay. Did he say where Ariel went?
No, just away.
What did he say about Ariel and away?
He said that she had gotten away, and that was all I heard about her location.
During this first call at 10:42 a.m., did you ask the defendant any questions yourself?
Yes. I asked what was on his shirt because it looked like I saw splatters of something on his shirt, and he said, "Oh, it's just her," meaning Aries' blood.
Okay. So far you've told us that the defendant told you he tried to kill Ariel, that Ariel got away, that Ariel was cheating on him, that he planned to jump, and that the blood on the shirt he's told you was Ariel's. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, did I miss anything so far?
No.
Okay. Did he tell you anything else during this call at 10:42 a.m.?
No.
All right. So, Emile, after you get this FaceTime call and after the defendant tells you these things, what did you do?
I went over to my grandparents' house, which is Ariel's parents.
Okay.
Walked over to their house, told them what had happened.
How far away is your grandparents' house away from the Pu'uehu place address you mentioned earlier?
It's like a minute or so walk.
And could you tell us your grandparents' names?
Judith and Peter Mast.
Which of your grandparents did you tell about the call first?
Both. They were both there, so both of them.
What happened after you told Judith and Peter Mast about this 10:42 a.m. call?
The next notable thing is they received a phone call from, I believe it was Queen's Hospital, one of the hospitals here.
So far, I find Emile very credible. It appears to me that he's a moral person. He's testifying against his own father. I've had cases where the son, daughter, or blood relative choose to protect their parent or loved one. And I think jurors will take that into consideration and find him very brave. He's doing the right thing, even though it's very hard. He also goes right over to his grandparents' house and tells them. That bolsters his credibility, in my opinion. So let's keep listening here. And I also think that jurors will find him very sympathetic too. I mean, it's got to be so hard testifying against your own dad and seeing him right there in court.
Which of your grandparents did you tell about the call first?
Both. They were both there, so both of them.
What happened after you told Judith and Peter Mast about this 10:42 a.m. call?
The next notable thing is they received a phone call from, I believe it was Queen's Hospital, one of the hospitals here.
Later on that day, did you tell anybody else what the defendant told you?
My mom,
Who's your mom?
Jessie Patelare.
Did you at some point also tell the police what happened that day?
I did.
That's key too.
All right. Do you know where your grandparents ended up going after you told them about this call?
Yeah, here.
They came to Oahu?
Correct.
Okay. All right. You said that there was a second call at 11:46. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. The second call, was this a FaceTime call as well?
Yes.
Okay. And just phone, just audio or audio and video?
Audio and video.
Did you pick up the call?
I did.
When you picked up this second call at 11:46, what did you see on the screen?
I saw the defendant.
Okay. And can you describe any background that you saw on the scene, if you remember?
Just trees, rocks, the sky. That was it.
During this second phone call at 11:46, what did the defendant tell you, if anything?
He asked me if I had told anybody, and I said yes, and I told him who I had told. And then he said that he was just going to jump, and said that a couple times.
Okay. To be super exact here, Emile, who did you tell the defendant that you told?
I told the that I told my grandparents and my mother.
Okay. So you told them that you told Peter, Judy, and Jesse.
Correct.
Okay. So after the defendant told you he was going to jump a couple times during the second call, how did you respond?
Same way as before. Said not to. I don't know.
You told the defendant not to jump.
Right.
Okay. How did the second call end?
With him saying, with the defendant saying, I'm gonna go before the police catch me.
Did he tell you he was going to hang up? Do you remember that? I'm sorry.
Objection leading. Assisting.
Okay. Bad question. Go ahead. All right.
That showed consciousness of guilt on behalf of the defendant. You know, he's going to hide and run from the police because he knows he's guilty. This is such strong testimony. I mean, how can you not feel so sorry for
I just
this
want to
kid?
clarify, Emile, but the last thing you told me about the police. What exactly did the defendant tell you about the police?
Asked and answered.
Could you clarify what the defendant told you about the police?
That he was, that the police was looking for him. He didn't want to be found.
Right. Did the defendant tell you anything else about his state of mind or what he was thinking?
He said he was at the end of his rope.
Anything else you can remember about that?
Thought about suicide for the last couple months for the months leading to the 24th of.
For both of these calls we've been talking about, who was the caller?
The defendant.
So at either call, were you the one to dial him up?
No.
These are words right out of the defendant's mouth. Very strong
Right,
testimony.
Emile, overall, did you choose to get involved in this?
I did not.
During either call, did the defendant say anything about self-defense?
No.
Did the defendant say anything about Ariel attacking him?
No.
That's important.
Overall, between both calls, did the defendant tell you what the reason was he tried to kill Ariel?
Other than this is.
Objection asked and answered.
Other than the previously stated him thinking she was cheating. Didn't say anything other than that.
Right. And Emile, overall, how are you feeling after these events on March 24th, 2025?
Objection irrelevant. Assisting.
All right. Did you stay on Maui after this happened?
I did not.
Okay. And where did you go?
I went to Pittsburgh.
And why did you go to Pittsburgh?
My mom lives there.
So did you go to Pittsburgh to be with your mom?
Correct.
Okay. One moment, Emile.
That is such strong testimony. And also, just so you know, the defendant was hiding out in the woods for quite a while. There was a manhunt for him going on. So that also goes to consciousness of guilt. And these are
Okay,
the defendant's
Emile,
words.
thank you for answering my questions. I have no further questions at this time.
That was great, direct examination on behalf of the prosecutor, in my opinion. Nice, open-ended questions, a little bit leading. And here's the cross. We'll see. It's very tough to cross a 19-year-old boy who's testifying against his father.
Good afternoon, Emile. I'm Tommy. I have some questions for you. I'm gonna try to not keep it, I'll try to keep it not too long. Okay, I know it's not easy to be here. I just wanna begin by asking you a little bit more about the first call on the mountain, okay? And I wanna ask you about before the call. Before that first call, at I think you said 10:42, it was a pretty normal day, yes?
Correct.
You knew that your dad and Ariel were on a trip to Oahu, yes?
Correct.
And you knew that they were on a hike that morning, correct?
I did.
And part of how you knew they were on a hike is because about 30 minutes or so before the call, they, meaning your dad and Ariel, were sending the family photos of the views from the hike, correct?
Correct.
So you guys had like a family group text or Snapchat or something like that?
Yes.
Who was on that?
I believe just me, my dad, Ariel, and it might have just been those three.
Okay.
I can't tell you exactly.
Okay. But you were on it and they were your dad was sending photos of them on the hike, yes?
Correct.
Letting you know where they were, right? Yes?
No.
Well, I mean, just that they were on a hike, yes?
That they were on a hike, yes, not letting me know that where they were.
Well, yeah, I just meant like showing you pictures of the hike they were on. Maybe
Okay.
it's a better way to write it. Is that right? They were
Yes.
sending you pictures of the hike they were on, yes?
Yes.
And at least at that time, everything seemed normal to you, correct?
Correct.
There was no reason to be concerned at that time, correct?
Correct.
Now you get this call, 10:42, and he's telling you, amongst other things, that he said he's not going to make it back. Yes,
Correct.
and like he was saying goodbye to you. Yes,
Correct.
and you quickly realize that something's wrong, right?
Yes.
You don't know exactly what's going on, but he's also telling you that he's going to jump and commit suicide. Correct?
Correct.
And from what he was, saying, and from and acting the way, what you could gather, you could tell that there was a lot going on in his head, yes?
Yes.
Okay. You could tell that your dad was distressed when he was talking to you, yes?
No.
Okay. You remember, you gave later the day of these calls, you talked to the detective on Maui, remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And you remember telling the detective that your dad sounded like he was kind of distressed? Trying to stay calm, but kind of distressed? Remember saying that to the detective?
No.
Okay. Would seeing the transcript of the interview with the detective help to refresh your memory of what you told the detective?
Yes.
Okay. This is 170, page 4.
I don't think this cross
May I
is very
approach, Ron?
effective so far.
Okay,
By the
so
way.
Emile, I'm going to show you this transcript. If you can just read lines 14 and 15, well, if you wanted to start from lines 8 and read down to lines 15, and just read it to yourself and let me know when you're done. Okay. You remember saying that to the detective?
Yes.
But as you sit here today, you don't have a recollection of him sounding distressed, is that right?
Didn't sound distressed.
Okay. But you did tell the detective it sounded like he was kind of distressed, right?
And then I said afterwards, he sounded calm.
Yeah, you said it sounded like he was kind of distressed, but trying to stay calm. and he did sound calm. That's what you said, right?
Correct.
Kind of distressed, but trying to stay calm, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, he's talking to you, sounds kind of distressed, trying to stay calm. And you said also at some point, said something about he seemed like he was at the end of his rope. Is that right?
Yes. That is what he said.
Now, the first call, Emile, when your dad is having this first call with you, from what it was on a FaceTime, right?
Correct.
And there was video, right?
Yes.
So you could see him and kind of whatever was in the camera behind him, right?
Right.
And he's having this call with you. He's right on the edge of what looked like a steep cliff, correct?
Yes.
And he's telling you he was going to jump, yes?
Yes.
And did you assume that where he was talking to you at was where the incident with him and Ariel took place? Generally?
I wasn't aware. I wasn't thinking about that.
Okay. But it looked like he was in a steep place that kind of was high, like you had to scale on rocks to get to it, correct?
Correct.
That helps the
You see
prosecution's
blood
case.
on your dad's shirt, yes?
Correct.
And he tells you that this was Ariel's blood, yes?
Yes.
And he told you that he was explaining to you about how Ariel had been cheating on him for a couple of months, yes?
Yes.
And he told you that the blood was from her head, correct?
Correct.
And half an hour earlier, everything seemed fine to you, right?
Yes.
Now you're hearing this, you see the blood, you see the steep cliff, he's telling you he's gonna jump, and I'm sure it was a pretty emotional, upsetting call, yes?
Yes.
And it was also a little confusing to you, you're trying to kind of piece together and make sense of what happened, correct?
Yes.
And also trying to convince him not to jump, correct?
Correct.
What is this accomplishing?
This was on FaceTime, and so it was on speakerphone, correct?
Correct. Correct.
After the first call, you then go to Judy and Pete's house, yes?
Yes.
And that's Ariel's parents' house, yes?
Yes.
But you call them your grandparents, correct?
Yes.
You also went to Judy and Pete's house with your girlfriend, right?
Yes.
Is that still your girlfriend?
No.
Okay, your girlfriend at the time, correct?
Yes.
Then maybe about an hour later, your dad calls you again. Is that right?
Yes.
And you guys are talking, and he tells you, he brought it up and asked, and you said, yeah, I told Judy and Pete, and then he starts saying, okay, I'm gonna jump then, or something like that. Is that right?
Yes.
And then he said he needed to go so the police wouldn't find him, right?
Yes.
Okay, so he was telling you he wanted to jump and kill himself, and he wanted to go so the police wouldn't find him. That's what he was saying, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. And, after these understandably difficult and emotional calls, later that day, the detectives from Maui contact you, correct?
Yes.
And at least according to it was the interview started at 2:27 p.m., correct? Would seeing the transcript help you remember that?
It would.
Okay. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay. Again, 170. So, Emile, if you just read that, this is the start of the interview. Okay, read it to yourself. Let me know when you're done.
Yep.
All right. So the interview started at 2:27 p.m. later that day, correct?
Correct.
And these were not Honolulu Police Department detectives, but Maui Police Department detectives, correct?
As far as I know.
Okay. And, you know, you were able to look on your phone later. Well, you were able to look on your phone and tell the detectives the exact timing of the calls, and that's why you were able to say it was, the first call was 10:42 a.m. and the second call was 11:46 a.m., right?
Yes.
So the interviews with the detectives is at 2:30 or 2:27. So about 4 hours after the 10:42 call, and about 3 hours after the 11:46 call, right? The interview with the detective,
Yes.
roughly. And, you know, obviously, you didn't record the call with your dad when you guys were having them. You're just listening to him and talking to him about not jumping, right?
Correct.
And you didn't write down any notes after the call, right after, did you?
Correct.
Okay.
I did not.
But you tried your best, you know, 3 to 4 hours later, to describe the call you had with your dad to the detectives, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And, you know, like today, for example, you were asked by Mr. Gardner, you know, after he was talking to you about jumping, you were asked, what did you say back to him? And I think you said, I don't remember what I said right after that. You remember saying that just a little while ago?
Yes.
Okay, so as you see there today, there's parts of the exact wording and timing of what was said that you don't quite remember exactly verbatim, word for word, correct?
Yes.
And for example, you were asked by Mr. Gardner about, you know, what he said after a certain point, and there are things that you don't recall exactly what your dad said after certain parts of the conversation, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But you tried your best to explain to the detectives what you understood your dad to have been saying, correct?
Yes.
But to be clear, it wasn't like an exact word for word, verbatim of the entire conversation, but you did your best, correct?
Yes.
Okay. For example, in an effort to do your best to explain to the detectives on Maui what happened, you initially told the detectives that your dad told you he tried to kill Ariel by pushing her off a cliff. You remember initially saying that to the detective?
Yes.
Okay. And that was what you had kind of assumed, given the things that he told you and where he was on the cliff. That's what you assumed that he meant, right? At least when you said that to the detective, right?
Can you repeat that question?
So when you initially told the detective, you know, my dad told me he tried to kill Ariel by pushing her off a cliff, that's what you assumed your dad had meant, correct? When he said that, you assumed your dad meant that he had tried to. Well, let me phrase it this way. You remember telling the detective initially that your dad told you he tried to kill Ariel by pushing her off a cliff. You remember telling the detective that?
Yes.
Okay. But later on, in the conversation, well, in the interview, when the detective asked you about that, you clarified and you said the part about pushing her off the cliff was what you assumed he meant, not what he had actually said, correct?
Yes. Correct.
I'd say he scored a point there. By trying to impeach credibility by using the word, you got the witness to say, yeah, I assumed he meant he was gonna push Ariel off the cliff.
And then when the prosecutor asked you questions about it, you said at some point he said something about she got away, right? Something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
I would have sat down right there with the assumed line. That's it.
Did anyone tell you about the 2 witnesses that had testified that when she was moving away from him, he didn't try to stop her? Did anyone tell you that?
Can you repeat that?
Did anyone tell you that about how the witnesses that were there testified when she was moving away from him, he didn't try to stop her?
At what point?
Objection, can we approach? No. Over.
Did anybody share that information with you?
I don't understand the question.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a few more questions, Emile, and then we'll be done, okay? You were asked by Mr. Gardner about how about how after the incident you flew to Pittsburgh to be with your mom, Jessica. Remember that?
Yes.
And was it later that night?
Yes.
Okay. But you did return to live on Maui sometime thereafter?
Yes.
Maybe in a few weeks? How long were you in Pittsburgh? Couple weeks?
Couple weeks. I couldn't tell you the exact date.
Okay, but within a month you were back on Maui.
Correct.
And you, at the time, you had moved to Maui with your dad and Ariel when you were in high school, yes?
Yes.
And that was something that you chose to do, right?
Yes.
Okay. You were in Pittsburgh with where your dad was and your mom, Jessica, was, correct?
Yes.
And you chose to move to Maui to be with your dad and Ariel, yes?
Yes.
And so by the time we get to 2025, how long had you been on Maui, roughly?
2 years at that point.
Okay. You had a girlfriend at the time, yes?
I did.
You had made friends on Maui, yes?
I did.
Your two younger brothers were there, yes?
Yes.
You had a job on Maui in March of 2025?
I did.
What kind of job?
I worked at Chick-fil-A
Okay.
at the time.
Were you going to school?
I was not.
Okay. And you liked it on Maui, right?
Yes.
So your options were to stay in Pittsburgh with your mom. You could have done that, right?
Yes.
Jessica, right? If you you could have stayed in Pittsburgh with her if you chose to, right?
Correct.
Or you could come back to Maui, where your friends were and your girlfriend was, but to do that you would have to live with Ariel, right? To come back to Maui, you could come back to Maui and live with Ariel, right?
It was an option, yes.
Yeah, it was an option. And over the last year, since this incident, you have continued to live with Ariel, correct?
Yes.
You also would see Ariel's parents, Judy and Pete, regularly over the last year, correct?
Correct.
And you refer to them as your grandparents, yes?
Yes.
And they came with you to court today, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And over the last year, though, you've limited your contact with your dad's side of the family, correct? You haven't seen them much, right?
I wouldn't say that.
Okay. Your grandparents, you haven't seen them much in the last year, have you? Or talked to them much?
I have done both of those things.
How often have you seen them?
Probably seen them
Since
Two-
the incident.
since the incident 2 or 3 times.
Okay. The most recent time was when they were gonna come to see you play roller hockey on the mainland, right?
Yes.
Okay. And where was that?
Irvine.
And when was that? Roughly.
I couldn't tell you.
Okay. I mean, it was in 2025?
Yes.
Okay.
No, it was 2026.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant, that's what I meant. Sorry.
It was
It was in
2026.
2026?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're into roller hockey. You played a lot.
Yeah.
And you traveled to California earlier this year for a tournament, right?
I did.
Your grandma and grandpa, your dad's parents were gonna meet you in Irvine to watch some of your games, right?
Yep.
And when they got there, Ariel's parents, Judy and Pete, had traveled with you up there, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you have not spoken to your dad since the incident, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Emile. That's all the questions I have for you.
You need me to write?
Yes.
After the redirect, I'll explain what I think about that cross-examination.
Right. Emile, one of the things that you were just asked about on cross-examination was the fact that you didn't tell the detective on Maui that the defendant told you that Ariel got away. Is that right?
I didn't ask that.
I'm sorry?
I didn't ask that.
Is my memory wrong?
Ask the question. See
Well,
where
can we approach?
Okay, so what's going on here is redirect is limited to what was asked on cross-examination, so you can't go outside the scope of that. And since we do have a quick break right here, in my opinion, that cross-examination really didn't accomplish much at all because, first of all, he went on too long, and I also think he went over all the strengths in the prosecution's case, like the strengths of the son going over and telling the grandparents, and specifically what the father told him. Why go over the strengths of the prosecution's case? It just doesn't make sense to me.
This being a confusing FaceTime call, is that right?
Yes.
And you were, clarify more for us right here, Emile. Was there any confusion about the defendant telling you he tried to kill Ariel?
Can you reword that?
Sure. Did you have any confusion about that statement by the defendant?
Was I confused at all? Yes.
I'm sorry. Let me repeat that. Is there any confusion in your mind about the defendant making that statement that he tried to kill Ariel
Now?
in general?
Yes.
Okay, could you explain?
I didn't expect it.
I'm sorry. I think I'm phrasing my questions poorly, Emile. Is there any doubt in your mind about the defendant telling you he tried to kill Ariel?
No.
Thank you. No further questions.
Any recross based on what was asked on your direct?
No, thank you, Emile.
All right.
Overall, my assessment is that I'm not that impressed with the cross-examination. The defense did nothing to impeach the credibility of the witness, yet he allowed the witness to retell his story, which was not favorable to the defendant. I learned back in law school in my trial advocacy class that the key to an effective cross is to maintain control over the witness with short leading questions, and it should be brief. Now, eventually, I applied what I learned in law school to the courtroom, but I admit it was very hard to do. I felt like I had to say more, and I think lots of lawyers make the same mistake. In this case, defense counsel knows that Gerhardt will be testifying, and he'll claim that he didn't say that to his son. He'll deny that he ever said he tried to kill Ariel. So with that said, I would have limited this cross to one or two questions, focusing on the question, you assumed he was going to push Ariel off the cliff. Emile answered yes. So Emile made an assumption. Hey, that's it. Get that from the witness and then sit down. Overall, my opinion is that Emile Konig was the strongest prosecution witness. He held up very well during cross-examination. He's brave, and I do believe jurors will sympathize with him and believe him. Now, if you learned something today, be sure to subscribe so you can catch my analysis again. Thank you for joining me.